Your suspension excites me the most.
If you're gonna go out and play, yeah, you're gonna have to learn how to weld.
Somebody may have played a prank on one of the teams. I don't know.
That's bullshit that people would do that.
Somebody messed up. We're running a deeper pack. It's actually called a link killer. I mean, why wouldn't you want less stuff on your truck?
Four teams, 7 days to build a badass truck. This is the K&N Junkyard Challenge.
Saw the way that thing landed, it was like butter, man.
Dude, did you see that thing? Oh crap! Damage Inc. has proven the early leader in the competition by being the first to put their truck on the ground and the first to fire it up. Despite fabricating a 4-link, the F-250 has been an efficient platform to build and all part of a clever strategy.
As of right now, we've got that set up and done, and we couldn't be happier.
This band of good-hearted brothers is as passionate as they come. I can't wait to see them test today. The NorCal crew of Race Anything has been trolling the SoCal teams since they got here.
I love the SoCal off-road scene. Let's be honest. It's either you're right on your dirt bike or you're wah-da-da-da-da in your trophy truck.
They went with a solid front axle for their GMC to suit their rock crawling background, and the salty veterans may have a thing or two still up their sleeves. Their cage and leaf spring rear suspension is done, and the checklist is nearly complete. Nexgen, the local team, has clashed with the other teams from day one, purchasing an F-150 that appears to have been previously modified.
You guys cheated! A shortened frame, shortened drive shaft. You bought a truck that was built and took parts off of it.
You're full of shit.
They seemed to work at their own pace and went into town to get some last-minute parts as the clock ticks down.
We've been missing stuff. Little things been messing with our truck.
While their cage and suspension is complete, the last 10% seems to be dragging on. Rock Solid Off-Road has had setback after setback on their Dodge Ram.
Our truck needed the most amount of work. We have broken studs in the manifold. I had a diff yesterday. It was fighting me the whole time because it's been blown up before.
While skilled builders, at times, they seem to be out of their element.
I don't know, dude.
Race Anything ordered an NOS Sniper nitrous system.
Chad helped us out with the nitrous from NOS.
I'm just gonna get this tank mounted and the line ran, and then I'll do jump to some other stuff after I get the intake on. Mount it right there.
Really excited to use the nitrous. That was something I'd never got to use.
Uses a billet aluminum wet style plate that bolts right between their 80mm GM 3-bolt throttle body and the intake manifold itself. Since it's only a 1/2 inch thick, it doesn't affect the fitment of the K&N cold air intake system they're using and supplies up to 175 extra horsepower. Damage Inc. also opted for some giggle juice to spice up the jump competition. They went for an NOS single fogger universal 8-cylinder kit with the classic blue 10-pound bottle. Perfect, dude.
All we gotta do to boost out and pass all these fools is go like that.
Yes.
And 100 shot of nitrous just
you
like
could
that.
literally keep it on the whole time.
Yeah.
I don't understand why you put nitrous on and don't use it all the time.
300,000 mile 6-liter is the main reason why.
Dude, 274,000 mile 6-liter 1482, dude. 1,482 horsepower.
Okay.
That bottom end doesn't give a shit.
All right, well,
It'll be
that
fine.
sounds fun.
So we got these E3 spark plugs. We're replacing the OEM spark plug. I don't even see that. See how there's one electrode on there? Works good for every day. With these E3s, we got something that really throws some sparks in there because we are running 100 shot of nitrous and race fuel. We definitely need this to fire it off and make sure this engine runs to its full potential. It's gonna make a big difference for sure. All right, Jack, so turn the key on. I want to prime this thing and make sure the fuel's not leaking. Turn it on. Fire it up, see what happens.
Give her hell.
After firing up their 6-liter LS, Race Anything is ready to start putting the finishing touches on their GMC and start testing.
Our competitors from the north just got their motor running, and that was a little bit of a gut check. You hear them partying and the motor hitting the rev limiter. You're like, damn, are we gonna do that tomorrow, or when are we doing that? Because we need to get on it.
The RSO crew still here hard at work. All right, so James, you're like one of the only guys working on the engine. Yeah. Am I right on the parts list? You guys are putting a camshaft and headers on this thing?
Yeah, we're going to do a little bit of a cam. We're going to try to get a little bit of power out of this little 360.
Are you thinking the power will be the difference because you're limited on the front suspension?
Yeah, I'm thinking we're going to make up a little bit of time with power out of the engine and a little bit of weight savings on the 2-wheel drive, and we've got a few tricks up our sleeve for the front suspension too.
Okay, good. It'll be exciting to see them. Get after it. Comp Cams not only provided a PCM-friendly camshaft upgrade, but also a complete Magnum rocker arm and push rod kit that includes 1.6 ratio roller rocker arms, hardened push rods, and even the guide plates. So why'd you pull the valve body out of this thing?
We're doing a shift kit.
Okay.
Yeah, we're doing a shift kit.
How many miles are on this truck?
I don't know, a couple 100,000.
Does everything look all right in there? I mean, fluid looked good and everything?
It was a little bit dark, but it didn't look burnt. We didn't have a whole lot of chunks in the pan, so we're gonna make it shift a little better and run with it, see how it does.
So, do the engine, get a little more power, do the trans, get this thing beefed up.
Hopefully we can get it a little sideways, a little better.
Oh yeah.
Some better shifts.
Dude, you have ATF all over you.
I'm always a mess.
With their truck in good shape and no sign of Nexgen, Race Anything was up to their old tricks.
Just doing a little advertising for them because they basically wanted to just build a truck to get a bunch of good parts, probably to sell it and make some money.
Wait, what exactly are you putting on the roof?
A Richard.
A Richard?
Yeah.
He's gonna have a big Richard on his roof. Oh, look at that.
I think this is how you pinstripe. Oh,
yeah.
Hip to Race Anything's game, Dez and his team shrugged it off and kept moving.
So we came in, it had a for sale sign on it. Kind of funny. Hey. They put a dick sign on the roof. So that's probably a little much. It just, we didn't do any of that. We could have done all kinds of stuff, I could have went and keyed the whole side of their truck, like anything could have happened, it's just, but it all comes back to respect. To me, that's kind of chicken shit. Do that out in the desert and see what happens.
So we're here with Team Nexgen, and you guys had a little bit more of a challenge than some of the teams because you didn't use the rear end that came in your project truck. You guys replaced the 8.8 with a 9-inch, and that means you guys had a lot more brake line work to do.
Yeah, so luckily Fragola stepped on board. They helped us out with a bunch of free brake line fittings, adapters, lines.
Yeah.
So we were able to run new lines across the rear end, T-fittings for the bulkhead right here. We also, with the additional travel, we needed a much longer than stock brake line to be able to droop out and get the amount of travel we want. Good thing with these are stainless steel with PTFE lining, so we won't have any flex in them, so we'll still have a nice solid brake line feel, even though we're not running a long steel line. We got a lot of flex line for ease and durability of it. Had to weld on a bunch of tabs, brackets, but a 4.9-inch is a 4.9-inch. There's nothing to beat them. Yeah. Lightweight, don't take much horsepower, so it's a win situation for us.
So worth the extra work.
Get back to me tomorrow.
All right, well, keep at it.
All right, thanks, guys.
To be honest, we're farther than we thought we would be. Definitely farther. Our biggest savior, in my opinion, was everything that we found on Summit from Artec, our shock towers, everything. That saved us so much time when it comes to having to build shock towers, having to mount stuff, all of our link pockets and everything. We were able to get straight from Summit and had it here ready to go. That helped us a ton.
Riley, You've been fabricating your ass off on this truck. And it's been fun, but you look tired, brother.
I'm ready to drive this thing finally.
Well, now you guys still have more stuff to do on it for sure before it's really race ready.
Yeah.
But you're going out and doing some testing right now.
We want to do testing early because one, we finished the truck a day early practically, and figured better to test it now because we'd have a day to fix it if we have a major problem.
Yep.
If we wait to test it tomorrow, we have a major problem, we're kind of screwed.
Right.
Figured today was a better day.
Each team is getting 1 hour of testing. Damage Inc. already ready to get this thing out and churn up some dirt.
We tested today.
The front end is soft. It's definitely soft.
Right?
Yes.
We're going to put 300 pounds in front shocks.
It'll stack up. It needs more compression.
Yeah.
It feels fine in the front otherwise.
Riley's been behind the wheel and has been hitting a couple of jumps over there and been running a little bit of the short course here. And first thing he noticed was that the front didn't have enough preload on it.
You can get second gear, third gear out of that corner, and as soon as you grab third and straighten out, you're like off this little lip and the front bounces hardcore.
You said 2 a moment ago.
Okay, so that's 3, 4.
Shock needs to be set up pretty stiff. We don't want a bunch of motion change. Whereas as like a short course style stuff, we want it to be a little looser. In the jump, we need enough valving when it comes down and hits real hard that there has enough valving there to where it almost hits full bump, but doesn't quite smash the bumps.
The valving at first was pretty light on it, so we put a different valving in it and adjusted it. They're working great. We're extremely happy with how the truck is handling. It's going to perform great, at our expectations, if not exceeded them.
That's it, bring it back.
Could not be happier. Absolutely stoked. Absolutely stoked. Ecstatic.
Everybody is in full thrash mode, and again, Damage Inc. is out there doing testing. The intimidation factor is high. Damage Inc.'s F-250 was ready for the competition, and they even had $396 left in their summit budget.
We have maxed out our cash budget. I might go get some Cokes and Sprites for the guys later on and just use all that up. I can't think of anything else we really need to purchase at this point.
So I have a family member that's been fighting cancer. Follicular lymphoma, they call it, which is basically a blood cancer. Fortunately, last weekend I was able to go visit her and she was at a high point. About 10 o'clock this morning, I got the call.
They wouldn't want us to leave this. They know how committed we are and they're proud of us for doing this.
Well, she definitely wouldn't want me to leave the competition, that I know.
Dude, you guys have been thrashing. Lots of stuff happening down here.
Yeah, got the battery mounted down here.
Why'd you put the battery box where you got it?
So we had the cross member I'm sitting on, the stock Ford, so we just mounted to it. It was nice and easy.
Well, and that Moroso box is pretty cool. I mean, it's indestructible. So even though you've got it back here, you're not gonna have to worry about that thing getting hit with rocks or anything and hurting the battery.
Yeah, no, it's fully encased. It's protected.
Yeah, and if it, you guys put it outside, but the good thing is, if you put it in a race car, like beer money, this is a really good battery box. It's got a sealed lid, a vent tube, so you don't have any fumes from the battery. It's a pretty cool setup.
Yeah, it was a complete kit, so it's easy plug and play.
All right, well, have fun. Finish her up.
Yep, thanks.
You're all comfy in here.
Yeah, it's important. You don't want to be sitting all stupid in your seat when you're hitting big jumps.
Obviously, you've got Summit belts, 5-point with a race seat to hold you securely. One of the things that I see a lot of times at the races, and I know you've seen this before if you've been anywhere, is guys that just sort of tug their belts. They don't really cinch them up. I always say if you don't have somebody actually belting you in, you're not in tight enough. There's a measurement that all of the seatbelt manufacturers do, and it's 4 to 6 inches typically, depending on the racing, below the top of your shoulders. People need to pay attention to that. You get a good set of belts like these, they come with all the instructions and all of the hardware to save you. That's what they're supposed to be there for.
Yeah, and if they're not set up right, they're not good for anything.
Yeah.
So you got to do it right.
All right, I'll let you get back to setting stuff up, or playing as the case may be, because I think there's a little bit of that going on.
Oh, definitely.
All right, well, finish it up. Be ready. Again, we go racing tomorrow.
Awesome.
All right, dude, you're putting the TCI starter on. Does that mean this thing's about ready to run again?
It's getting there. We're putting a more higher ratio starter in so that it'll crank the engine over easier and faster. So faster startup, easier startup. The hardest thing on the engine is startup. So you want to make it as easy as possible for the engine.
Is it bolt right in place of the factory one, or do you have to modify anything?
No, not having to modify anything at all. But the old hardware is too long, so I'm having to back it out to get shorter hardware.
One of the problems with junkyard parts is that you never know what's going to work and what's not going to work. It would be really, really crappy to be out there at the caution in the short course race and have your truck not restart because the back of the starter fell off. That would suck. Not only does Lucas Oil sponsor all of your favorite off-road events, but they also make everything these trucks need to run hard. From 10W40 semi-synthetic oil to 80W90 gear oil, ATF, power steering and brake fluids, super coolant, slick mist, and even oil stabilizers, Lucas Oil has got it all.
We're using the stop slip because our oil is a little bit old, a little bit dingy. It's not burnt, so we're just gonna kind of run with it and use the Lucas additive. We use a ton of the Lucas oil stabilizer in our differentials and our motor oil. We love this stuff, so I think we're just gonna kind of stick by the product and see how she runs in the transmission there.
All right, first start up, pump on, 50 pounds, no leaks, clear.
Fuck, it's already hit. No, that's fine.
I'm as 100% as going to be. Now we just got to see if what we brought to the fight's enough.
You smell the racing fuel this morning? Always good to smell that.
While Nexgen's F-150 seemed to be complete and running, they didn't seem to be in any hurry to get out there and do any testing, so I talked to Chris to try and find out what was going on.
The car's ready to go.
Yeah, well,
And we even torqued the wheels. We did check their pressure.
I got to tell you, you got a few minutes left. If it were me, I'd be doing a test if you're going to test.
Yeah. I think we'll learn more watching everybody else's truck out and see what they're.
With its final modification complete, it was time for Race Anything to start some testing.
We took the truck out for its first hot lap and it went just like we wanted it to. This is at the point I need to start playing head games with these kids, right? I can go two ways with this. I can pretend like I don't need to drive it, maybe intimidate them, or I can go out there and get it on. So first time into first turn, I threw it in like I've been driving it for 10 years and it seemed to work out.
Mello is in it now, and dude, he is driving it like a man possessed.
That truck did exactly what we wanted to. It is so predictable. It's not as limber as the other trucks, but that's an out in the desert thing. We wanted it to be a little bit more solid and kind of, it'll look like a little bit more of a brick on some of these jumps, but for short course, that's what we need.
Okay, they all said he needs to drive it aggressive. He needs to drive it aggressive. They're like, we need him to drive it aggressive. You go out there and they are all on the chip dying of laughter because you had that thing flat-footed hauling ass into this corner.
You're my hero, Jeff Mello.
Needs more power.
I know.
Race car driver.
You could do so much more with it if it had more power. You could, oh my God, this thing's fun.
Right?
Oh my God, dude, we built a smile maker. This thing is so much bigger than anything I'm used to driving. I can see everything, but it doesn't matter, and this thing's eating it.
Bitching, huh? You were moving in this corner. I was like, yeah, tell me to slow down, asshole.
Yeah, exactly. Eating everything. No, it just needs more horse so you can do it. You can be more fun.
I think with the octane though, and if we would have, when we reflashed the
feel my
computer,
heart right now,
dude.
I am having
holy
a good
crap,
time.
dude.
Was that worth the week of solid work?
Yeah.
I think it was worth it, dude.
Race Anything used all but $184 of their summit budget on their GMC and will be riding high into the competition. Rock Solid continues to lag behind and is gonna have to hustle if they want to do some testing today.
We really had the deck stacked against us. We don't build trucks like this. We don't build trucks this way, this fast.
Rock Solid is under tremendous pressure to finish their truck, and they are starting to come loose at the seams, and at the worst possible moment, it looks like they might actually lose a crucial team member.
How you feeling? Terrible. Yeah, I was working on installing the battery box, and it just suddenly started to feel bad, and pretty quickly started to feel worse.
So it was hot as hell, sun's beating down on us, can't find any shade. The direct sunlight though really dehydrates you.
You realize tequila will take care of that, right?
Oh man, I think that's about the worst answer.
You all right?
We can't replace you, James, but we'll get her done.
All right, be careful.
Yep.
Well, we've had a little bit of unexpected and unwanted drama here this afternoon on our final day of the build. James from Rock Solid Off-Road came in and just wasn't feeling real red hot. We took him, put him in the trailer, gave him a little bit of liquids, and he was starting to feel a little bit better, but really felt like we should take him into the hospital. So he went off to see if they can give him some fluids, pep him up so he can be ready.
Commentary?
With time running out and Rock Solid being a man short, the Damage Inc. crew stepped in to put in work on the Ram.
You know, I had family issues. I had James leaving, but thanks to Riley and his team jumping and helping us out, we got our stuff done in time.
When I saw that they were broken, it was like, dude, how much would it suck to have 3 people in this competition, you know?
I wouldn't say we're proud of it, but it's one of those trucks where like you don't care and it makes it that much better that you don't care. It's like a pug, it's so ugly, it's cute. Okay, I couldn't stop smiling. Man, that thing floated, but the front was really soft. And it was really freaking me out because there's no way we could have jumped it. There's no way we could have done short course. The only thing it did really, really well was go sideways.
On the return from their first test lap, Tyler hit a nasty bump in the Dodge. Something is definitely broken.
Literally everything I get in and off-road, it breaks at some point. Stupid me didn't put a strut between the 2 shock towers. So those folded in.
Wait to the last minute on things, you overlook stuff, and that's what happened. Bracing and bumping out the shocks in the correct spots and things like that were a big play of what happened for that thing to bend.
Luckily, every freaking team jumped on board, pulled the truck apart, shredded the shock towers with a winch and a big rig.
There was a couple points where there were more blue shirts working on that truck than there were yellow shirts because James had to go to the hospital.
Our steering geometry might be a little off.
Of course, not every team was down to help out. Nexgen used the opportunity to sneak out for a quick test session.
We're concerned about the motor and its running ability right now. We feel like there's something hurt inside it. So we just wanted to put a couple minutes on it, make sure it shifted, it turned, it stopped, and it did all those.
They continue to play their cards very close to the vest. It's hard to tell if their 5-liter is hurt or if this is part of their strategy. Either way, we're going to find out on race day. Nexgen's F-150 used all but the last few bucks of their Summit racing equipment budget.
It's real hot out here and it's dry. It ended in a hospital trip. I've had kidney stones before and it felt real familiar.
Did you scream bloody murder when it came out?
No, once it got from up here to right about here, it stopped hurting.
Really?
Yeah.
Even as you passed it? Did it come out of your butt or the front?
James is a badass, man. The guy goes to the hospital, passes a kidney stone, and comes back to work.
While I was in the bed, I passed the stone and got a ride back.
I feel a lot better, and I'd rather be out here hanging out with these guys.
Thanks to everyone's help, Rock Solid was able to take their truck out for the last 10 minutes of the day for testing, and they seem to be ready for the competition.
It's really rewarding to stand back and look what you can do in a week. We're going to race tomorrow, so that's cool.
The 2-wheel drive Ram was finished at the 11th hour and is certainly the underdog going into the competition.
Every time I'm on the trail, it's me helping somebody or someone helping me.
We're all so excited to race with each other. And if anybody needs it, our team, we'll hop in and help.
If I can help you and jump in to make things right, then I will.
That is part of wheeling, that's part of going off-road, is things will break. You're not on a racetrack. You're out in the middle of nowhere. If you don't help your friend out, they're stranded. They're done. Can't get your car back because the sun's going down, it's going to get cold, and you can't go home.
The sun has set on all 4 builds right here in the middle of the California desert. And now the stage is set for all 4 teams to go to battle. Please, everybody keep them 4 wheels on the ground.
Oh no, I didn't see him there. Oh, shit.